Next, we will be discussing the difference between the traditional compilation process and the Java compilation process. What happened in traditional compilation and what happens in Java compilation, right? See, this is the diagram showing the traditional compilation process. Now, in compilation, what happens actually? In compilation, the role of the compiler is to convert the source code into the machine code or into the object code. Plus, it also checks the various errors in the program, right? Now, in traditional compilation program, this is the source code, and after this source code by the compiler is converted into the object code, and then it is executed by the computer, right? Every high level language has its own compiler, like for example C++. These are the examples of high level languages. They have their own compilers, and these compiler convert the given source code into the object code. Now what happens when the compiler converts the source code into the object code, and if the computer is having the Windows platform, so after compiling using Windows platform, that program will run on Windows computer only. It will not run on any other Unix computer or Apple computer, etc. Right? So this happens in case of traditional compilation process. Again, I repeat, the source code is translated by the compiler into the machine code, and then it is executed by the computer. Now, every high level language has got its own compiler which converts the source code into machine language code. Now, in this case, what happens if we are compiling our source code using Windows platform, then the resulting object code will run only on Windows platform only. Now, this is the diagram showing the compilation process of Java, or the Java compilation process given on page number 23 of your textbook. Now, what happens in case of Java compilation process? Instead of having compiler or interpreter, here we are having both. We are having compiler also, and we are having interpreter also. Now, what happens? First, the source code is compiled by the compiler, and it translates the program into a form which is known as bytecode, and then bytecode is interpreted by the computer, and which is the part of Java virtual machine, and it forms the machine code, and which is executed by the computer. Right? Again, I repeat, this bytecode is formed by the Java compiler, and then here this part is showing the JVM. JVM consists of the interpreter, and the role of interpreter is to convert this bytecode into the machine code, and which is executed by the computer. Now, this Windows, now here we are having three different types of computer. One is running Windows, another is running Unix, and the Macintosh is there. If we are having bytecode, suppose if we are having bytecode, then this bytecode can be executed on any of the computer. How is it possible? This bytecode, when it is interpreting in Windows computer, it will translate into its own according to its own configuration, and when it is translating, when we are passing this bytecode to the Unix running JVM, it will convert according to its system's platform. So if once a computer has the required Java bytecode, the interpreter in the computer can convert into its machine equivalent according to its system. So we don't require every time the source code to convert into its machine equivalent code. Once if we are having the bytecode, it can be converted into the required platform. Now you see, this original source code where we write the Java program is saved with the extension .java, and this bytecode file is having the extension .class. .class file means that it is a bytecode file, right? So this is the difference between the traditional compilation process and the Java compilation process. In case of Java compilation process, we are having both compiler and interpreter. So interpreter helps our Java program to run on any of the operating system or any of the platform. So this interpreter or this JVM is making our Java programs platform independent. Platform independent means it can run on any computer, right? Next, we will be discussing the features of Java programs. These are the features mentioned given in your book, page number 25. You see, the first is simple. It is a very simple language and easy to learn. And the most important thing is that most of the things are already given in the language. Only the thing is that we should learn how to use those things. So all these things are making our Java programming language simple. Next is robust, means it is a reliable programming language. It is less prone to errors, means what it because it is having both compiler and interpreter. Compiler is rectifying when we are compiling our program, it is rectifying all the syntax errors in the program, and when it is interpreted during the runtime, it is eliminating all the runtime errors. So it is making our program less error prone, right? Next, it is secure. Security, basically we will discuss with respect to the applets program. As I told you that the applets are the programs which are basically meant for internet program, and these we download in our computer and then we execute. Now because applets are confined to its Java environment only, it does not hamper any other part of the computer. So these Java applet programs are secure in this regard. The next is object oriented. As I told you in the last chapter only, any programming language which follows all those four features can be considered as object oriented, because Java strictly follows all those four features, so it is a strictly object oriented programming language. Next is platform independent. Just now we have discussed that platform independency means write once, run anywhere. The program written in Java programs, Java language can be executed anywhere due to interpreter. Interpreter translate that bytecode files into a form which is executable by in that particular computer. So it is platform independent. The next is multi-threaded. What is multi-threading? Now, thread means the part of a program. Multi-threading means the whole program can be divided. I'm talking about whole program. The whole program can be divided into many parts, and these parts can be executed parallelly. This is known as multi-threading, and this concept is available in Java. I hope the topics are clear to I hope the topics discussed today are clear to all of you. Go through this assignment question. Go through these assignment questions shown on in the video. Write it neatly, and any doubt, feel free to ask. Have a nice day.